Hello. I'm sure everybody's confused. I'm gonna wait as to why I'm live right now. I'm gonna wait for people to trickle in before I explain what's going on. I just had a very irritating situation. So I didn't want to send out multiple messages or whatever else. Then people would just have more questions. They wouldn't be answered. I'd be going back and forth with multiple people, and I am so pissed off and annoyed right now that that would not have helped the situation. So I would rather just address it once and then play with beads so that I can feel better. If you guys are newer and don't know, in all of my videos, except for this one, because I don't think I put anything in. I don't think that I did, but I will. Crap, what was I going? Oh, I have the hashtag beating myself better as well as feed yourself better, or yeah. So I'm gonna let a few more people trickle in while I'm sitting here trying to clean off my mat because I certainly was not expecting to come home and go live as soon as I did. So, okay. So, here's what happened. I got called back to go start doing everything, and all of a sudden they came out and told me, came into the bay, they'd already put that on, they were getting ready to do my IV, everything else, and the charge nurse comes in and said that the anesthesiologist will not do the surgery because I'm 252 and 250 is the cutoff of what she's comfortable with. Plus, they didn't do labs, which I've never had labs done for surgery with that Dr. Mayo. None. And this is like my fifth surgery with him. So the anesthesiologist just refused to do the surgery. I was obviously on the phone with my surgeon's office as soon as we got in the car. And so they're currently trying to see if he'll add me to his schedule on Friday, where he'll be doing surgeries at a hospital itself. Otherwise, the next available day isn't until December 5th. Which right now, Steve's on the phone with his insurance, with his work, because if he's correct, his insurance reset December 1st. So we would be expected to pay the surgical copay. So we've got to figure all of that stuff out, because I think the surgery copay is like $2,500. So I'd have to have quite so she's only willing to, because of my body mass and BMI, she isn't willing to do it for my height and weight. considering that they are not attached to a hospital. There is a doctor's office, well, like an urgent care center attached to it, but that she's just not interested in doing it. So, I don't understand this. This is almost as frustrating as, when your pharmacist refuses to fill a prescription that your doctor wrote, stuff like that. I don't understand how people, I mean, I understand they put these guidelines in place because they have been sued. And so the insurance companies want to don't want to open themselves up to that risk, although they do have insurance, but I guess their premiums go up or whatever else. But yeah, what, Steve? Just spit it out. Oh, wait. Oh, we are good until January 1st. Okay. Yeah, go and call and get me scheduled. Well, she said she'd be calling us back.
Call your phone if your phone is on important.
Then take my phone with you.
You mean take it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, our insurance doesn't reset until January 1st. So that is the good thing. So even if we can only get it done December 5th, which is like the day after Jerica leaves, right? Yeah.
Or even the day she leaves if it's late.
Right.
Because they're gonna.
So there's that. If we can't get it done until, 2 pounds. 2 pounds. I do not understand. They are also some of the most well-paid physicians in the world. Hospital bills here in the US outdo other first world countries by, it's so ridiculous. And yet, insurance premiums and insurance copays match that by being some of the, it's just ridiculous. We get the things that insurance companies and whatever else can say or not say, or doctors. My surgeon was not happy with the anesthesiologist at all. He's not happy with her. They're now trying to see if they can get me on to his schedule for Friday because that's what it is. Otherwise, we're just kind of stuck until the 5th of December, I guess. The highlight, silver lining, because your girl's got to find one, right? I will be recovering from surgery while they're here. I'll be able to do more with Squish and Jerica and Jason while they're here, but if they can get me in on Friday, I'm still going in on Friday. In fact, I don't know. Babe! I'm going to ask him to wait up. Did you already call Alyssa?
No.
Okay, wait like an hour just to see if
You can do it on Friday.
yes, because
That would be better.
Yes, I'd much rather do it on Friday than the 5th of December.
Well, then there's still a chance you can get your arm done.
Exactly.
Before.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I have one other surgery that we were supposed to get done, which is on my arm right here. Oh no, I'm way too white for you to be able to see. So I have, oh, it helped if I wasn't. You could probably see it under the camera if the camera was right there. Maybe not. See, I have one right there. That's like making my hand cramp up when I do certain things. So you may have noticed that I'm using my left hand as my dominant hand in a lot of things because of that lipoma. And also because of that lipoma, I've been like slowly training my body to be more ambidextrous when it comes to jewelry making. Nothing else matters, but I have to be able to, yeah, you noticed that. What's it called? That it makes it, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm good regardless of where these are. Like, I, it's not just the one, it's not just a rare disease, it's the worst form of it that I have. Most people only get lipomas, get these lipomas. And I'm speaking about people with Derkham's disease, not everything, just Derkham's disease specifically. They get theirs in their arms and their upper legs, and that's all. I get them everywhere. I have two underneath my tongue on the inside of my mouth right now. Um, the fall that happened the other day was because I was choking. And so, and I passed out and fell out of my chair. So they've been talking about doing a throat scope, but we were putting it off because of this surgery. So obviously, if we can get in to get the other done, that's the most important because it's messing with circulation to the rest of my body. Because if you're not a medical person, 90% of your body, the blood in your body, is circulated from your heart down through your right leg and then back up. And I have three separate lipomas in my right calf ankle area that need to be removed because they cause ridiculous swelling. Like I was wearing one of my shoes and one of Steve's shoes to the surgical center because I couldn't get my foot into my right shoe. So, but I had reflux, which is when your body's blood starts to travel backwards because it's it's meeting resistance going the right way. So I had to get that repaired first, because uh, being able to control blood loss would have been exponentially harder to do because your blood has to be under so much intense pressure for it to reprogram itself to go the other way. So we had to get this one done first. So we did the reflux treatments. That's why we were doing so many of them and whatever else. And they were able to get 90%, like 90 to 92% of the way done. And so then they were like, okay, you can get surgical clearance. So that's what I was doing. And they worked really hard to get me on the schedule very quickly. And they are still, and they will work very diligently to do so. Dr. Maya has 3 surgeries scheduled on Friday at an actual hospital because they're a total knee replacement. Well, all 3 of the surgeries he's doing that day are full knee replacements. Typically he'll do a 4th surgery if he's like already in that mode. And so see. Oh, Jerica. Oh, thanks, baby. For you that don't know, that's my daughter. She called me right before I got taken back and put Squish on. And Squish looked really, really sleepy. And she's like, yeah, it's her nap time, but I wanted to call you before we laid down. And so she just sat there with her thumb in her mouth, and she'd get this little smile every so often. And I didn't initially know that she was tired and that it was nap time. And so then I said, it's okay, baby. Go ahead and go to sleep. Gigi will talk to you later. She closed her eyes and went to sleep. So it was sweet. That little girl and I have a very strong connection. And it's just, yeah, she's the best. So, yeah, thank you for saying that. I just, this was going to be the easiest to explain to everybody rather than like texting back and forth or whatever else. I knew there were going to be a bunch of questions, but then I also knew that you guys would help me feel better about the situation. So I knew that it was going to be, you guys would help. You guys have all dealt with, I'm sure, similar situations before, but yeah, it just, no, she wouldn't come in and see me, Linda. So they had to get the charge nurse to come in and explain to me. And you could tell that she was irritated. Obviously not as irritating or not as irritating as it is to me, but I'm sure she's like, you're being so nice about this. And I'm like, what? And nothing, like an outburst wasn't going to fix anything. Now, if this was 5 or 10 years ago, there may have still been an outburst, but now that, I'm older, I'm 45, almost 46, like I realized that screaming and yelling and everything else at the doctor wasn't going to change anything. And so I was like, let's just go home. And we were in the car and he's like, okay, do you want me to text Beth? I'm like, I'm just going to go live. That way, if anybody has any questions, we can get all of them answered at one time. Rather than, like I said, going back and forth and back and forth. And I knew that you guys would help feel better. And so some of those videos that I pre-recorded though are going to need to be released because like they're unboxings and whatever else. So I'll get those out there. It's my dollar beef box unboxing the stuff that Randy that I purchased from Randy's website so that I can show my process for buying beads online and designing with them. Yeah. Rosanna, did you get to see the cool new turtle I got? I see it on my desk right now, and I was like sitting there thinking for a second, like, did you get to see that one? It's really cute. I'll show everybody actually. My desk is a mess. Like I said, I wasn't planning on going live today. Look, it's got like a unikite body and a cherry blossom shell. It's so cute. It doesn't have a hole in it, but I don't know. I'm starting to get into like, even if it doesn't have a hole in it, I'm like, but it's so pretty, so I want it. And I'll probably just slowly get like a collection of everything. Let me reset my tools for those of you who don't haven't seen before. I like to reset all of my tools, meaning I put them all where they're supposed to be before I go live. That way I know, because you guys see, sometimes it gets to be a bit ridiculous when I start looking for all of my stuff. This doesn't always work or help with that. I still do use my tools when they're right on the desk in front of me, but this helps slow that down just a bit. Yeah, I was just in here. I didn't like clean things off yesterday after we went through everything. And then last night, I just needed something to take my I didn't want to go to bed early and then be up at 6 o'clock in the morning, stressing about the surgery from then until it started at 12. So that was part of it. And then, so I was trying to like keep myself up so that I would sleep in as much as possible. Why is this tangled on here? But I did keep working. I messed with it for over an hour, but I did come up with a little bow head pin. Again, I'm not saying that I'm the first person to think of this because I'm 110% sure that I'm not, but it's new to me. And so I figured that if it was new to me, it could possibly also be new to you guys. So I just wanted to show it. I need to put these acrylic flowers away. So yeah. So if we don't get the slot on Friday, then we may do a sale on Saturday because there was stuff that I originally wanted to show that we just ran out of time with. And I was being good and packaging things up as they come in. Like those aren't going to get put together and um so that way they can just be input into the system from that point. So we'll be able to get everything uploaded, price sheet, everything done much easier. So yeah, have all you guys can see everything that came in yesterday that I unboxed is still all over my desk. So it'll take just a second to clean this up. I have I have messages coming in on Facebook, so I just need to close that tab so it stops. I don't know how other people like Roseanne. I don't know how you just keep going when your phone goes off in the middle of live. It goes off like once and it drives me crazy, and I'm like, yep, nope, you need to be turned off. But yeah, it's all gonna work out. There's a reason why. Well, thank you, Mary. Yes, you learned quite a few new things from me. Oh, that makes me feel good. Blue on bail. Um, I have never used one. So that would actually be a question that would be good for Rosanna. I've never used a glue on bail. Um, because it just like I couldn't figure it out in my mind like how that was safe. And I'm not saying that I make like jewelry that should be passed down generations. That would make me feel good if it was, but so I've never used one because yeah, your cork top looks like a cookie. Yes, you must be getting one. Thank you. Thank you. So, I promise if you send me that strand of beads that most certainly looks like charade to me, I'll let you know. And I promise I'll mail it back, but I cannot guarantee that the post office won't lose it. Oh, so you haven't used them either. For the same reason, does it just not make sense to your head how that's safe? I just haven't ever tried for that reason. I even got some, I ordered a bunch of pendants from someone, and when they came, none of the bales were like on instead of like being straight up with the loop either facing towards you or the loop twisted the other way. They were like halfway one way. One, I swear, looked like a unicorn horn because it went out like that, like at an angle. You guys, they were messed up. There wasn't a single one of the 5 that I ordered that would have hung the way that it should. So I was refunded and they even sent me out some, well, they sent me 2 and I bought 5 pendants, but they sent me out 2 glue on bales and they were, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. So what I did instead was I created the bales much like the butterfly bale, or that's what I call it. This chain just wants to get caught in everything today. I don't. It's my favorite little chain. I had it pop like there was a piece of chain and I bent down to pick it up and I didn't quite catch the little like card that it was on. And so it all came undone. But lucky for me, Steve is ridiculously good at untangling chain. I don't know how he does it, and as quickly as he does it, I can mess with something for goodness an hour and not feel like I made any progress. And he has it for like 2 minutes and has it undone. So now I reward that talent and ability by letting him untangle all of my tangled chain because, I don't want him to get rusty or lose it because he wasn't. But anyways, um so I did the bales and I drilled out the holes a little bit deeper and um and then I made a bale and I glued it down inside. So, and I double checked it 2 days later to make sure because I've gotten bales where like it gets snagged and they come out, or that I haven't liked and went to take it out and it came out so easy. So I double checked it when I did it myself to make sure. I have you guys like down on that while I'm trying to clean this up and I don't know why. So what was I saying now? Oh, so I tried it and it wasn't going anywhere. The ones that I do, because I do it with the with the thickest wire I can get in there. And then I not only put glue inside the hole, I put it on the bale itself before I glue it in. And then obviously I have leftover glue. I take that off, but yeah. So they were really, really well. It was actually some of them were the little chevron amethyst heart. That was one of them. So, and when I sold them in the past, I gave people the option of me doing it, or if they wanted something done and everybody had me do it for them. So that's good. Okay, I'm almost ready. I'm excited to show you guys this bow thing that I did. I also got one other thing, but I couldn't get it to look the same, so I'll keep practicing that one. I'll show them to you. But I'll keep practicing it until I get it to where I feel like I can explain it in a way that is easily understood. And when I say understood, I mean like that the different steps make sense to go from one to the next to the next, because I've gotten instructions before and had other people who were like, "Oh, it was so easy." It wasn't for me. So, yeah, I didn't even blow dry my hair today because I was listening to Rosanna. So I was like, I'm just gonna go have surgery and go home and go to bed. So I don't need to blow dry my hair. I went to the surgical center in my pajamas, so I did manage to put on a shirt for you guys, though. Put them all in this box. Ugh. I will keep those out because I was using them. So I will show you what I did. Oh, have any of you guys seen? So I know I've talked about it before and how it used to drive Steve like mental when I would crochet a project, not like the way it looked, and completely undo it. And he would just be like, all that time, all that, da, da, da. And he could never wrap his head around um, how I would do that, how I could do that. He's like, well, just leave it put together and give it away. And I'm like, but if I don't like it, I'm not going to give it away to somebody else and expect that they enjoy the gift themselves. So it's just kind of how I am. But I found something that irritated him to that same like nod of thing, but worse. And this lady does this rice art where she uses like rice that she's dyed to different colors or whatever else. And I found other people who also do this, but they don't do what she does at the end. So she literally gets the entire thing laid out on a board. And when you look down at it from top down, you might see some color, but there's like rice over the top of it. And she literally like throws it up in the air, and you're able to see the image that she did, but then it comes down and lands and it's over with. And so, yeah, if you don't like it, that's what flush exactly. That's what they're there for. But but what's it called? Oh, so you have done it. Okay. Two girls and a dog. Your name is Cynthia, right? I want to make sure it's, yeah, a t-shirt and lounge pants. Yeah. I just don't see, I just tend to get up and have to walk to the other side of the room. and don't want you guys to, which is silly because none of you would care. You guys just wouldn't care. But no, I just made a bigger mess on my desk. But so I was like, I found something that'll bug you more. He's like, I don't know how. And I showed him, and he goes, don't take that up, please. Just, and the thing is that, like, I'm not trying to say anything against her. I'm just speaking the facts of the situation. Um, she's not getting even 1,000 views. So it just seems, and like she fully admits, it takes her hours upon hours upon hours to do this. And then the like down up motion takes, seconds comparatively. So it's like if she was doing it and it was going viral, because I weighed 2 pounds over what the anesthesiologist was willing to put me under for. They're currently trying to figure out if they can get me on the schedule for Friday at an actual hospital. And if not, I will go to the one of the other well, he goes to like 5 different ones. He's one of the top orthopedics in the valley. So, but that is connected to a hospital. That one is only connected to an urgent care, and urgent cares, I don't know how they are other places, but here they don't even set bones. So like if they'll take all the x-rays and do, and if it's just a sprain or like a hairline fracture or whatever, they will go ahead and cast it. But here, if you have to do any kind of anything above just wrapping it up, then you can't do it. So yeah. Today I have on my red lounge pants with little Scottish terriers on terriers, not terrorists. That's cute. Sounds like something I do. I have my pajama pants on, but I don't know if you guys see them. They have a whole bunch of little dogs all over them. So we match, Rosanna. Only mine are black with like pink and stuff. So okay, getting the lasses picked up. I'm excited to show you guys the little link that I did. But yeah, I know people have to work up. Believe me, I know. I've had a few of my videos that did really well, and then most other ones not so well. So I couldn't imagine, like, that would be like putting together, like, I'll show you for instance, because I have not done this because it just makes me sad. But everybody else has been like, oh, just break it up. This necklace is very, very, very long, much longer than anything I would ever wear. Like, it goes down lower than my belly button. It's so long, and the blue lace agate is so beautiful. And you can tell that it was specifically chosen because it was drilled in the center, whatever. But it's knotted. So in between each of these beads is a knot. And it's not the time it would take me to to take things off and just cut all the knots. It's the time it's this time that this must have taken another designer to do this that keeps me, let me see. Probably, I guess it goes right to my belly button. So yeah, it, I just, I've had it for, I don't know, months now. And yeah, so I don't know. So the thought of like if there was a way to unknot that and just have everything fall off at once as if it wasn't a knotted project, that's what I can imagine this, or like a rosary type chain done with simple loops, or something that takes a long, 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 long time to do. Already, here we go. Just where it doubled. I would never take that. I know. That's where I'm stuck. I'm like, ugh. Okay. Used to be me, mom, Cindy. Okay. Got you. I thought for a moment you were this lady that I follow on YouTube that does dog groomings, but she doesn't charge. She's been doing it for so long, and because of all of the like views she gets on her YouTube channel and donations, and people join her channel, and so she gets that money. She doesn't charge for her grooms anymore. And so she's her name is very similar to you. I don't know if it's a girl and two dogs, or, but it's very, very, very similar. She lives in Niagara on the Canadian side. So she's the sweetest lady. She's so good with these dogs that have been refused by everyone else. Nobody else will groom them. And so it's fun to see the before and afters on those. So, okay, I did this mostly with 20 gauge wire, right? See, that's funny, Linda, because I do that on my knotted projects sometimes. I will do like the bead, a knot, a seed bead, a knot, the bead. And I have done knotted projects that way because I also like there to be a little bit of space in between. Randy, when she knots, she goes through it twice like a surgeon's knot. She does that. But yeah, exactly. But I feel bad. And so I've had it for, hey, no ma'am, Quinn. Um what was I saying? I don't know why I put any of this stuff away because I need it like to do this with. Okay, so I started off by pulling like, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches of wire, and I'm using 20 gauge right now, which I use a lot for link testing and things like that, because it's sturdy enough that the wire isn't gonna just like fall apart during the difficult parts of it, but is but isn't so hard that it needs to be the thing where you heat it up. Oh, just seed beads? Got it. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna start it off using my hybrid link. So I'm just gonna go and make a 90-degree bend. I put my pliers, I don't do them vertical or horizontal. I go directly into the crook of the bend, up, over, and down. Then I make my pliers parallel with the bead mat. And then I did I didn't pull the other tools out. I don't know why I reset, because everything I needed is what was out. But hey, at least I know it's all here. Okay, so then I'm just going to take my pliers and I'm going to wrap it around the wire until it goes back to the loop. A little tip of mine, if you're like me and like your loop or like your wraps up as tight as you can get them, it's actually easier to do while it's still on the barrel than if you're holding it in your hands, because the wire isn't going anywhere and the loop isn't going to get messed up that way. You end up with a pretty loop and a pretty wrap all at once. So we start there, and I originally was doing that as a simple loop, but you guys know how I feel about simple loops. I'm just gonna center that a little bit. There we go. Then you're just gonna take your round nose pliers. I did it with the first step, and you're just going to put it about 2 millimeters below where the other wrap is. And then we're just going to do the same thing. Oh, wrong way. In front of Heather. And then with these ones, it's easier to do on the barrel than before you get to the bigger ones. But I would recommend to have it on. And then you can either do this with your pliers or by hand. I like the tighter loop look. And I'm just gonna go, this is probably enough wire to make two, but it's okay. So I do the initial wraps while it's still on, and I make sure that the last one is lined up in the center. I don't know why I wrapped it so many times. I didn't wrap any other one of these this much. I was talking and not paying attention. Let me get another piece because that's all mangled now too. I'm gonna pull enough to make like enough wire to do a few. Because I always like new techniques to be shown more than once. And you guys know I'm bound to like make a mistake at some point. So we'll just cut enough for that instant. So again, let me start over. And then just make a 90-degree angle. I'm going to do it on the second step this time, not the first step. That way you guys can see it easier. I'm just going to make my little hybrid loop. And if you wanted, you could also put this around. I did that a couple times. I will tell you that I only liked when, okay, that's 2 loops that way, that's 2 loops that way. Like I did a second, I do 2 wraps on this side and then go over it again. Nip off the wrap of that wire. And then, like I said, I'm just going to stick it back on the barrel. And now, because I did 2 wraps, I wouldn't have to leave a space because I can just wrap around that. But I am going to leave a space for at least 1 wrap to be done there. And so just over like so. And like I said, you can use your hands. I'll do it with my hands this time so you guys can see. Let me see how it looks on the other side. See which side I like better. Other side is fine. I just need to get this to the center so that my pin or my length lines up behind it. And so now you have a little bow. So it's cute. I also thought that it would be kind of cool, and maybe I'll try that next time, but I thought that it'd be kind of cool to like have like a loop down here so that you could dangle something off of it so that this wouldn't have to be just the bottom of the bead cap or of the head pin. But there you go. You can make it as long as you want. As you can see, mine is very long. Doesn't need to be this long. But unless you wanted to put stuff on it and then use the extra to like do wraparounds. And then last night, all I was doing was I made them with the second, the third, and then I just put like a green bicone, one of the acrylic pearl daisy spacers, and then a bright red faceted one so that I could make earring pairs. You could also do it as I don't know what I was just gonna say. But now I do want to try it. You cannot see it. So was I completely off frame? Or is it my focus? This is why I zoom in rather than having it go bringing it up to the camera, because let me see. Is that going to make it jump over and over? Yes. Okay, that should fix it. Okay, let me do another one. Okay, so we're going to stay on camera right here, Heather. Like I said, you can make a 40-degree or a 90-degree bend. I don't know why I just said 40. I'm trying to think. Ugh. I'm going to go ahead and stick my pliers into the crook of the turn, up, over, and back. And then I do like the way that I didn't have to do as many wraps when I did the second wrap just now. So I'm going to go ahead and do a second wrap on this one. Cut off the pokey outies, which is a very advanced term in the jewelry world, specifically. Only the best of the best know what it is. Okay, so we have those two loops. I'm going to put this back on to get the initial loop. And then I want to play and see if I can somehow, I think I would still want to go around at least once and then get it back to where it's in the center right there. I hope you guys can see. There you go. Back to where it's in the center. And then I think if I'm going to do it, I'm going to want my smaller round nose pliers. And then trying to see. Let's see. Maybe if I start another rotation like that, and then bring this down and then back up. You're going to have to go down underneath the bow. This is way bigger than I want this loop to be. So we're going to roll it up. So that would work. But let me see. Around and then back up. the wire isn't exactly centered, which I would like it to be. So let me see if I can reorientate. Um, so that kind of sort of worked. I don't think that's too bad for a first go round. I mean, it would be a lot harder if I do like that I went around the loop before coming back up the back. I think that will make me feel better as far as the strength of the loops. Now I just need to get these pointed straight out, not kind of. There's that one. Pull that one up. That's much better. And then I have a little crook at the very end of this. But let's see. Grab a bead. One of the pearl daisy spacers. And where are the red beads? I'm sure they're right here and I'm just missing it. But instead, we could put this pretty pink one on. There we go. See, that would be pretty. And then you can just like, maybe this is the upper part of your like earring. You could even just make your ear wire directly off of this because I've done that before. Okay, we're playing. Let's try it. I'm trying to remember exactly how I did it. I can't remember if I do a loop there. There's no need for a loop other than just to end this without worrying about it coming off. So let me do a full 90-degree angle. And I'm going through this with you guys. Oh, sorry. I will do it again. I will. What was I just going to say? Dependent upon, like, if you're being really particular as to where you want that, but I want this to be my front. So I'm wondering if I can I will do it again, the full thing in just a second. I'm just trying to figure out but I like this side better. So we're just going to go like that and then just up, over, and down. And then just pull. I just want to pull this up ever so slightly. Because then whatever you attach to your loop would be your dangly thing. That is not a pretty loop. I don't know how I just did that. We are going to push down on the barrel to get it the way we want it. And then I don't like much of a kick out because of the fact that my holes are crooked. So those little kickouts tend to be the thing that gets tripped up when I'm putting earrings in. So we're going to bend it right there. There's the loop with the earring, and you'll still have a dangle because whatever you attach in the loop will be able to swing free. So you could like do this again and maybe do an actual pearl. Maybe you just do a pearl drop. I know I'm off camera. They said, what?
Yeah, it's on you, not on the mat.
Oh,
Yeah, what?
What? No, babe, come look at my screen. It's not the way it looks.
I'm telling you.
I swear. There's my face. Okay, now can you guys see the mat?
Not yet.
Why is it doing that?
Is this camera plugged in? Is it on?
You're not live, Steve.
Oh, is that why?
Yes,
I'm a
you're not
dummy.
live.
I'm live now.
Okay.
Your daughter called me. I thought I went up for it all the way. I'm so sorry. I'm dumb.
It's all right, but
It's all out of love, babe.
But that's our daughter. Yes.
Yes.
Not just mine. Anyways, you could do a little dangle with like this is a shell pearl teardrop, and that could be a good dangle. But yes, the thing is you keep moving your hands off. Okay, got you. All right, then I will here. I'm gonna rotate it back so that you can see me even here. So I just need to keep it. Okay. Let me move some of this stuff up so it doesn't feel so claustrophobic to me. Put that back up there. Kind of move this up and I will do it again. Anyways, I think that would be cute. The earring hook is built directly in. Like I said, you can hang the dangle off whatever you wanted to dangle off of the loop in the center. And I'm going to take that off too. So my head is not blocking. But then the earring is put back in. Okay, let's start over and go through the whole process again. And I will make sure that I'm not only on frame, but that stuff isn't blocking your view or making the camera's job of staying focused that much harder. Okay, so we're going to start right here by making a 90-degree angle in the wire like that. Then we are going to take our 6-set bail making pliers and I'm going to do it on the second loop. Again, I like to have my barrel directly in the crook. So I go up, over, and down, rotate my pliers till they're parallel with the mat, and then pull that up. Then we're going to go around to the back, and I typically only do that much of a loop, but I'm liking the ones that I'm doing today where I did a second wrap. It made it easier to stay centered. Okay, I think that's 2 full wraps. Yes, but my loop is not centered. So let's go fix that. It's not, and we can finish perfecting that later once we do the other side. But let me get this to the side. I don't like to cut on the front or the back side. I like to cut on the side of it. I find that my beads lay flatter when I do that because you don't have that half a turn that takes you off the center. And then again, actually, I got that one really close and we're going to wrap over it, so it's fine. So then we are going to turn this on its side and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to make sure that I'm going in front of the previous loop. Now, while it's on the barrel is the makes it the easiest way to wrap this because there are 2 loops, so it just stays steadier when you do that. And see how that just dipped down? That's exactly what I meant. So I'm just going to go around one more time in the center and pull it straight up. Take it off of my tool. Make sure I'm not in the center on this side. So just scooch it over until I am. Kind of squish this down just a little bit. Yeah, and then we got to pull this. This turn just did not go right, but it's okay. Come on. See why it's so much easier to do it while it's on the barrel? I don't understand why it's easier. It just is. Okay, so that's good. Ah. And then you can kind of smidge around. I don't like the way this one turned out at all. So let me get another piece and I can show you how I did the loop at the same time. Like I said, I figured this out at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So my recollection is not gonna, it might take me a second or two to get back in the groove of these. Mm. Mm-hmm. Hopefully this will help you guys all troubleshoot if you have similar issues, because you've seen the way that I fix it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Loop is centered, 2 full wraps on both sides. Trim that off just like that. Grab my pliers and put it near the center, but not, you need to be able to get one wrap all the way around. So that's the gap that you need to keep on that. So then the second time goes around, it will be on the bottom wrap of the opposite loop. Sorry, guys. Okay. So we're going to go up, over, rotate this down until you've made your loop. Then you're going to take your pliers and you're going to go around once just below the other and then go around the center wrap right there. If you want to do a loop, this is where you would add it. And you would add it simply by making the loop. My wire wasn't centered. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what I did before. Because you gotta come over and back under the bow shape. Take this out for a second and reconfigure where this is. There we go. And then you want to go around the loop once and then back up on the back of it. Like so. Then this is a time where you can come in and fix your loops so they're even with each other. Hold on to this, kind of pull that over so that it's more centered on the back. I don't like where the loop is, but you guys can fix that, or you can just do the bow itself. It's so much easier than trying to add a loop, especially when you're still frazzled, but it's okay. So I did that one. What was the other one I did last night? I'm trying to remember because there was another one that I did. I'm looking at my map, but I kind of just pushed everything to the back. I just like the way that it looked to have like the little bow down at the bottom of the wire. And you can go as big or small as you want to. You can do little ones with the one step. You could do it to where they're really small by using like micro ones. Just by like marking where you have it. Is that where I stopped? Nope, I need to finish coming around. Oh, so then we have that. I showed you guys the swirl one yesterday, right? Did I? Did I not? I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure I did. Like I said, I don't just do the reset and that fixes it all the time. No, I still will lose and not know where it is, where it was. And obviously you can bulk up the center of yours. There we go. That's better. I just thought that they would be cute little additions on like Christmas earrings and whatever. So I am going to try to be using copper and brass as my main metal in 2026 and to come up with No, I know you're just trying to help, Linda. I didn't take that wrong. I do need to keep it. I actually have a big enough mess that that's why I left my tools right here. I wouldn't go out. I didn't want them to be like bothering. I'm going to try the loop again. I'm wondering if the hardest part is that you kind of have to go around. And I know that Samantha Latimer has one that is like, she does it as, I don't know if the fleur-de-lis is the right term. Okay. That is very pretty. She has a couple of head pins on her channel that she demonstrates and whatnot, but no, I did it differently this time because I didn't see the loop last time or that little line. So I don't know if that's because I went around again for so that it was, I don't know what I did. But that would be the easy way to do it. But hers doesn't have the like wraps in the middle like that, which I like. So there's another head pin. Let's see. Let me cut another piece of wire or two. The other one that I've been using is, let me just straighten out this wire so that I can cut a few lengths. I should have enough to do like, okay. The one that I have liked the best so far is when I do the little, I go around in a loop and then I use my green, and I was off camera then. So I just do a little teeny tiny loop at the end, which is going to make it kind of hard for you guys to see. And then once I get it in, I put the loop into the crimper notches on here, and I just squeeze and squeeze like that. And then I come down and I cut off any of the straight bits that's left. And it makes a very good ball head pin. It looks, I'll put it on here so you guys can see. It looks like a ball head pin. So again, if your wires and your findings aren't matching, which is getting more and more the norm, which is not fair to any of us. There we go. It's not fair to any of us because we spend all this money and then we can't make things look as professional because there are a gazillion different tones, like 18 karat gold plated. If it's on copper, it's one color. If it's on sterling silver, it's another color. If it's on stainless steel, it's yet another color. And then it's just becoming more and more difficult, and it's not okay because it also depends on how much plating they do to begin with. How many different coats that will also adjust the shades and whatnot. And then if this one isn't big enough to keep your bead on, obviously you can do a bead cap or something, or like a daisy spacer or something to kind of block off, and then you can put the larger sized hole on here. So like I was thinking that it would be really cute if, like, I really love the copper and the bronze both, shining through these crystal drop beads as a very simple earrings, or even a little pendant for the people in your life that only want gold or only want silver or whatever else. But I like when the color shines through the crystal. I think it's beautiful. Oh, and it's also good for those who don't like beads all the way up or whatever else. They'd rather just have a charm and a pendant. This is beautiful. You could add like daisy spacer or not, and like slide a pearl down over the top. I probably would do some kind of loop before I put the pearl on, but it's just really pretty. But like for 20 actual bare bronze wire ball head pins, they were almost $1 a piece. So, oh, Lindsay, yeah, it's actually funny because I put it in the comments on Becky and Jenny's. Here, I'll show it on this one that I messed it up. And Becky read it, immediately went. I see her go and grab her Zeron pliers and grab that one's too bad. And grab her crimpers out, and she was just like, huh, that really works. Because I would get annoyed. I think it takes way too long to like squish it in, and this is really thin wire. We'll do it with this wire. And whatever else, it takes way too long. You have to be way too careful, especially when it is thicker wire like this. And using the Zeron crimpers, I haven't tried other crimpers. So I've only used the Zeron printers or crimpers. Sorry. But I mean, you get it up so close. There is no gap at the top of here at all. And then, so then if you're going to make hearts, then you can pull it out and you're still going to have that really big point. And then you can just go in and make your, oh, that was ambitious, Heather, that was all going to fit. And you do it on both sides. And then you can either like wrap around there, not with 16 gauge wire. Am I even going to try it? I'm not that crazy. But you get a very nice, even point at the bottom. Kind of squish that back a little bit. You could do a like, and there you go. Or I've seen people that have bent it at that point and gone back up. So let me pull that back a little bit to make the head pin and or like loop to make this into a charm. And as long as you haven't pushed this in too far, you should be able to make the nice little bend. And then you can use that as your head pin or whatnot. It would be a very large head pin, but there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, did you test it, Linda? I had never seen anybody do this. I did it because I hate when it like does that skip and then it's twisted, and I'm way too impatient to try to figure that out. But this could be, what are those things that what is it called, Rosanna? You got them in the Beetle on mystery boxes? I'm trying to think. Also, this makes the thing, oh my goodness, the bend a little bit. It makes it sturdier because this 16-inch wire ain't going anywhere, but I actually really like the way this looks. I just gotta not futz with it too much, just enough. What are they called? or a bail. Yes, Miranda. But there was something she was specifically calling it. You could stack a bunch of beads on it. I can't think of what it was called. I didn't get any in my box, otherwise I'd look. But hey, let's see what all would fit on this. Not that. We need a little like bicone or something, but we might need a smaller bicone to get down into that little spot at the top of the heart. I'm going to hold this here and like instant pendant. Yes. Isn't this very similar to that? Wouldn't these be very similar to that? I would think, because you just need to stack beads on it, make a loop at the end, and you're good to go. Unless the instant pendant has like something that screws onto the top or whatever else. Where's a smaller? And I love green and copper together. It's one of my like favorite color combinations. So I need to, it's a little bit off center. Probably because I did mess with it and should have just left it alone. Yeah, I think that this would be pretty similar to that. But I haven't used one. Like I said, they didn't come in my box. But what did come in my box was the bare bronze wire, which is like my new. So you could do it with the wooden bead on top, make a little loop, and you're good to go. And if you're not using 16 gauge wire, you could again use this as a ear wire. I don't make ear wires that are thicker than 20 gauge wire, and I mostly use the 20 gauge wire as because my ears. But yeah, the instant pendant has a loop and has a screw on it. Okay, so it's not exactly this, but this is pretty quick. Yes, you have to make your own loop, but that does allow for you to be able to come down with this to twist around whatever beads you stacked. We do not eat beads, so don't snack on them. Sorry. I'm trying not to be. What's gonna happen is happens. Everything happens for a reason. All of those things. All of those things. Anyways, if you were to just do the loop right up here and have this left over on like a 20 gauge wire, you could then wrap down around yours and even continue and go down on the center of your heart, I would imagine. It would be kind of tricky, not something, but yeah. I've been playing. Linda told me I had to. She said, Heather, you need to be doing more wire. And so I have been. What have you been doing for yours? You can also use normal Capri. Okay, got it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's either 22 or 20. And like I said, the 20 are mine specifically. Like that, those are ones that are for my ears, not ones that I sell out at I just don't sell them like that. I like 20 gauge in my ears, so I like it, you guys. So yeah, I've just been playing around. The copper wires cheaper than the bronze wire, so I've been doing that. Oh, and I'll show you the other thing that I haven't fully grasped yet. I did 2 different ones. So I basically just did the spiral again, but once I put a bead on before bending it back up, and then I just slowly stretched these out over the bead. I tried to do it as loose as I could, but then you have like a little, it's like a spiral, it's a bead that has the wire spiraled around it, but you can also now stack on top of it if you want to, like that. And there you go. Quick and easy. I'll do my best to demonstrate it. Remember that I have memory, your girl has memory recall issues, so it may take a second, but I will. Actually, I really like that one, so I'm not going to cut off that wire. I was going to cut off some excess wire I had over here, but I like the bow at the end of this, or not that one. That was not the one. It was this one. I really like the bow on this one, so I don't want to cut that off. And that length isn't much longer. So, okay. Oh, this is thinner wire, but it's okay. All I do to do that is I go to the tip of my pliers on the tip of my wire until I can't feel it. And then you just start by doing the loop. I have a teeny tiny bit that's more straight. So let's see here. Will you come off, please? Thank you. Take the plier, continue the turn, not quite all the way at which you touch the wire. This allows you to have a smaller loop, but isn't so small that you can't then keep turning. So I'm going to squish this ever so slightly. I have to be able to get my wire back through it. And then I'm just going to start my spiral, just like we did for the head pins yesterday, which I'll show you how I've been using the spiral as like a head pin. Most of the time I would like stop here. I'd make sure that it was centralized, and then once I put my bead on, I would then bend this up so it laid flat across the bottom. But it was never quite flat enough for me. So this is much easier. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. I don't want to leave myself no wire to finish, but I also want enough for the, okay, there we go. There's that. Then I just put a little 6mm bead on, like so. Oh, no, not like so. Then I took my pliers and I stuck the top of my bail. I might have made that hole smaller than I thought. And I just slowly push the spiral down. And you can leave it as stretched out or as flat as you like. And then I put a bead on, and then I took my pliers and bent the wire back over. And then this is the point where I went down through the little tunnel. Come on. Oh, I might have not left myself enough wire to demonstrate this. I might have done it. There we go. And then all I did was hold my bead and pull it down. I didn't make my spiral big enough. But then I would just mess with the wire and get it to go down onto the bead as much as possible. I just didn't make a big enough spiral to do so. See, it's new. This is why I wasn't going to show it, but working through the process, and I specifically know that the times that people messed up were oftentimes more, I learned more from that than those who do everything, like edit everything and make it look all perfect from start to finish, no problems, stuff like that. So I try not to do. Okay. Instant Penna has a loop. Okay, try the scan. We're gonna make a little loop or a little spiral. And then once I get the spiral started, put my pliers in and I bend the wire up and over. I don't rotate like my pliers around that. You can do both once you get going, but sometimes I do that and then my spirals aren't as tight and or as clean as when I do it slower this way. Okay, that should be good now. Then we're going to put a bead on. You just need your spiral to be wider than the bead you're using. Here we go. There we go. Like I said. Then you put a bead on, like so, and then carefully bring this down through the tunnel. Like so, and it has a nice little hat on it, but then you can spread the spirals at that point down as far as you want to or don't want to. You don't have to have it go down over the bead. It's just a little, like, I don't know, filigree bead cap, if you will. Something like that. And then, like I said, you can add other things on top, like going from that light to dark. Some of the dark jade. With a little. And that's kind of cool too. I was just playing around last night, so that I could keep my mind occupied. But there's another really cool, like, little thing, that you can do using your wire and just playing. Right, Linda? Wasn't that the assignment you gave me? To go play with water or wire. For a few videos now, she's been like, you just need to go play with wire. So that's what I've been doing. But those were the things I did to keep myself busy. What was this one? Oh, that was the pendant I showed with it squished up. Okay. But yeah, if you cannot figure out like a design and you're sitting there and you're like, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? Um, Sometimes that's when I like to say, okay, the pattern be damned. I don't care about that right now. I need to get out of my head. And that's what when I find that I play with wire more. Um, it works out. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and then that gets thrown away. But sometimes that's the stuff that becomes my new favorite because I do. I go from leather to then all stringing, all knotting, wire work. I tend to have phases and they rotate that way. So it it's fun. And as I said, copper wire is pretty inexpensive. Um like I paid, this is 1.2 pounds each one of these, and they were like $20. The bronze for 1 pound of bronze, I think is like 30 something. So there are 5 sizes that I want. Um, that I don't know. My kids are boring and all want to say exactly what they want for Christmas and da 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 da. And Steve is the practical gifts, and I'm the like more fun. But I told them all last Christmas, we're not doing that this year. It feels too reminiscent of gift cards. And yeah, exactly, Linda. It is when you play with it, you tend to learn and improve your skills quite a bit. But yeah, they'll literally say, here's the link of the sweater in this color that I want. That's the same as a gift card. In my eyes, the same as a gift card. And sometimes it's those gifts that you get that you don't know what to do with or whatever. And then that becomes like your new favorite. And you would have never thought to put it on had somebody not just given it to you. You may not have spent money on it because that's more of a risk. You buy it, you try it on, you don't like it, you have to go back, whatever. They kind of getting a sweater in a box in a gift at Christmas, you lose some of those, especially if they're like, oh, try it on. So then you try it on and you see that you do in fact like it. So luckily for me, Steven, Jason, Brock, and Maddox all wear the same size clothes, the same size shoes, the everything. So I have like a built-in assistant because I've never bought something that one of the four didn't like. So they'll play. It's kind of like White Elephant, but it's the White Amazon, I guess. So thank you for getting me out of my and getting me laughing and smiling and playing with my beads and whatnot. And dependent upon when the surgery gets rescheduled, like I said, we will. If we can, we'll do a sale this weekend. But if they can get me in, especially if they get me in on Friday, of course that comes first. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Again, thanks for your help today. I really appreciate it. So as always, I beaded myself better. So go bead yourself better, whatever it is that you need to, and happy beading.